This is a story about how one man's company went public and made him a trillionaire. It happened in just 2 days, in June 2026. His name is Elon Musk. He's not just a billionaire anymore. He's the world's first trillionaire, and it happened incredibly fast. The key to his wealth explosion wasn't one company. It was the moment a private company finally went public. That company is SpaceX. It's a rocket and satellite company. It launches spacecraft, manages communications networks, and builds reusable rockets. For years, SpaceX was private. Musk refused to take it public. He wanted to focus on the mission, not quarterly earnings reports. But by 2026, things changed. SpaceX had grown enormous. It had a product that worked, that made real money, and that investors desperately wanted. That product is called Starlink. It's a network of satellites that beam internet to people anywhere on Earth. In 2025, Starlink generated about $10 billion in revenue. SpaceX also has Starship. It's the massive rocket designed to go to the Moon and Mars. The company is racing to perfect it. By spring 2026, Musk decided the time was right. SpaceX would go public. The company and its bankers set an IPO price. They aimed to raise $75 billion. That was huge. Massive. A record. For context, Saudi Aramco held the old record. It raised $26 billion in 2019. SpaceX was trying to nearly triple that. The question was simple. Would investors actually want it? Would they pay that price? The answer came on June 12, 2026. SpaceX began trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol SPCX. The IPO priced at $135 per share. That valued the entire company at about $1.8 trillion. But the stock didn't open at $135. Demand was so intense that the first trades happened much higher. The stock spiked to $150 on day one. That's a 19% gain, just like that. This single day already boosted Elon Musk's net worth by billions. His stake in SpaceX, about 43% of the company, was now worth far more on paper. But the surge didn't stop. Day 2 brought even bigger gains. The stock climbed to nearly $230 per share. That's a 20% jump in a single trading day. By the end of day 2, SpaceX's valuation topped $3 trillion. Now Musk's stake was worth even more. The company he founded, the one he said he'd never take public, had suddenly made him enormously wealthy on paper. Across these 2 days, the 2-day rally added approximately $165 billion to Musk's personal fortune. That's $165 billion. In 48 hours. More wealth than most countries have. Now you might be wondering, how is that even possible? How does a stock jump that much in 2 days? It comes down to supply and demand. There were only so many shares available. Millions of investors wanted to own a piece of SpaceX. Everyone wanted it. Institutions, hedge funds, regular people with apps on their phones. Everyone wanted SpaceX shares. So they bid up the price. The more demand, the higher the stock goes. The higher it goes, the wealthier Musk becomes on paper. But here's the critical part. This wealth is not cash. Musk can't withdraw $165 billion from the bank. It's the increase in the value of his stakes in companies. His Tesla holdings and his SpaceX holdings are suddenly worth more because stock prices went up. If he wanted to sell shares and turn that value into actual money, he could do so. But there are limits. It takes time. It affects markets. There are tax implications. So these numbers are more like a scoreboard. They tell us his net worth on any given day, but they're not cash in his bank account. Still, the sheer speed is remarkable. $165 billion in 2 days is unprecedented in wealth history. That gain pushed his total net worth past $1.1 trillion. He became the world's first trillionaire. To put that in perspective, he's now worth more than 3 times what the second richest person on Earth is worth. Why did investors want SpaceX so badly? Part of it is Starlink. The satellite internet business is real and generates real money. Part of it is Starship. If the company can perfect a fully reusable rocket that goes to space and comes back, that's a game changer. And part of it is Musk himself. Investors see him as a visionary who delivers results. They believe in his ability to execute. So they were willing to pay premium prices. They were willing to bid the stock way above the IPO price in just days. But not everyone thinks the valuation makes sense. Some analysts say SpaceX is overvalued. The company has never made a profit. In 2025, SpaceX generated about $18.7 billion in revenue, but it lost $4.9 billion. The company spends money on research, on building new rockets, on engineering. It's a capital-intensive business. Some critics say that even with a $3 trillion valuation, the stock is speculative. It's a bet, not a sure thing. But Musk has a track record. Tesla has grown into one of the world's most valuable companies. SpaceX has achieved things many said were impossible. So investors are betting that SpaceX will eventually become so profitable that even a $3 trillion valuation will seem cheap. The two-day surge shows the power of hype, of belief, and of a company that captures investor imagination. It also shows how different wealth is for billionaires compared to everyone else. Most of us build wealth slowly, year by year. Musk gained more in 48 hours than most people earn in thousands of lifetimes. It happened through stock price movements, not through salary or wages. That's the nature of owning companies. Your wealth moves with their stock price. Big moves can happen fast. As for what's next, Musk has said his goal is even bigger. He wants his total net worth to reach $10 trillion. That might sound insane, but in June 2026, people said trillionaire was impossible. And then it happened in 2 days. This story shows something profound about modern wealth. It's not about work hours or labor. It's about ownership, innovation, and belief. Musk founded SpaceX in 2002. For 24 years, he built it, risked capital, pushed the company forward. Then in 2 days, the market assigned it a massive valuation. Whether you think that's fair, whether you think he deserves it, that's a different conversation. But the fact is remarkable. And it happened faster than anyone expected. Or maybe it just shows how much power billionaires have over our future. Either way, let's stay focused on the company itself. Because SpaceX is the real engine here. Musk pumped his own money in from the start. Back in 2002, he invested $100 million from his PayPal sale to get SpaceX off the ground. That was the seed. But SpaceX needed a lot more cash to turn rockets into a business. So over the years, huge investment firms jumped in. Google put money in. Fidelity put money in. The company kept raising rounds and raising its own valuation. By 2022, SpaceX was worth $127 billion. But that was just the appetizer. The real story is what SpaceX can actually do. And that story centers on one thing: a rocket. Starship. Starship is the next generation. It's bigger, more powerful, and most important, it's designed to be fully reusable. That changes the whole economics of space. Right now, when you launch a rocket, most of it falls back to Earth and gets destroyed. You build a new one. That's expensive. You spend millions on hardware that's used once. But Starship can land itself and fly again. Dozens of times. This means launch costs drop dramatically. That's the bet. That's why SpaceX's value skyrocketed. In 2023, SpaceX did another funding round. The valuation jumped to $350 billion. And here's the key detail. Investors weren't just betting on SpaceX's current business. They were betting on what comes next. Starlink. That's Musk's global satellite internet network. Right now, Starlink has over 10 million subscribers and generates billions in revenue every year. Starlink serves remote areas where traditional internet cables can't reach. It's a monopoly-like business. And the total market is huge. Then there's the future stuff. Orbital data centers. Imagine servers running in space instead of on Earth. Powered by Starship's cheap launches. Lunar logistics. Moon bases. Eventually Mars. These aren't dreams. SpaceX is building the infrastructure to make them real. And here's what matters for Musk's wealth. All of this stuff has a price tag. A wild, astronomical valuation. By late 2025, market watchers started saying SpaceX could be worth $800 billion or more. Some said even higher. Remember, Musk owns about 43% of SpaceX. If SpaceX is worth $800 billion, that's $340 billion just sitting in that one company. But SpaceX isn't public yet. You can't sell shares on the open market. The money is on paper. It's locked up, unless something changes. And something did change in December 2025. A court ruling came down on Musk's Tesla pay package. A judge had previously canceled a massive stock option grant that Tesla's board had given Musk in 2018. It was worth $139 billion. Shareholders had actually approved it, but a judge thought the board was too generous to their CEO. So the compensation was blocked for a while. In December, that got overturned. The court said the award was valid. Musk got his $139 billion package reinstated. On top of that, there's another package, a $1 trillion stock option deal. But that one has 10 years of performance targets attached to it. He has to hit certain milestones to unlock it. So Tesla's stock was already up 21% in 2025. And that court ruling pushed sentiment even higher. Then in January 2026, Musk started talking about SpaceX going public. He said the company was preparing to list on the stock market. That's when everything accelerated. The market started pricing in SpaceX's future value. And here's the thing about wealth on paper. When a company's value jumps 10 billion or 100 billion or more, everyone who owns a stake gets that boost instantly. Their net worth changes. On the books, by mid-January, SpaceX rumors pushed Musk's overall net worth past 600 billion. Tesla stock kept climbing. His holdings in XAI, the AI company, also kept growing. And then, not long after, something incredible happened. Musk became the first human being to hit $1 trillion. 1 trillion. That's 12 zeros. If you spend $1 million a day, it would take you 2.7 million years to spend $1 trillion. But here's the twist. Most of it isn't real money sitting in a bank. It's the paper value of his stakes in companies that are publicly traded or about to be. If he actually tried to sell all that at once, markets would tank. The prices would collapse. He couldn't actually access the full trillion. But that's what the number is. This happened in a matter of weeks. Tesla surged on the court ruling and the AI boom. SpaceX's rumored IPO valuation kept climbing. Musk went from billionaire to trillionaire in what felt like a blink. And that's the real story. Not a miracle. Not luck. But leverage. Concentrated ownership in a few companies with enormous, speculative future valuations. One company going up 5%. Another rumored IPO. A court ruling in your favor. Suddenly your net worth swings by hundreds of billions. Welcome to the world of ultra-billionaire wealth. So here's the big picture. Most of Musk's wealth sits in two main buckets. Tesla, which is a publicly traded company on the stock market, and SpaceX, which was private, but not anymore. For years, SpaceX was valued in private investment rounds. Investors would buy small stakes at prices that valued the company higher and higher. The most recent valuation before the IPO put it at around $800 billion. But a private company valuation is just a guess. It's based on what rich investors think the company might be worth someday. It's not tested by the actual open market. That changed this month. In June 2026, SpaceX finally went public. They sold shares on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol SBCX. The company priced those shares at $135 each and raised about $75 billion. But here's the thing. The moment trading started, demand absolutely exploded. Millions of investors wanted to buy. The stock opened way above the offer price and just kept climbing. On day one alone, the stock closed up 19%. That single day pushed SpaceX's market value from $1.77 trillion up to over $2 trillion, just in one day. Then came day two. The stock continued its rally, gaining another 20%. Now SpaceX briefly touched a $3 trillion valuation, an increase of more than $1.2 trillion in market value in just 48 hours. Musk owns roughly 43% of SpaceX. That means his share of that $1.2 trillion surge is roughly $500 billion. But he also holds his Tesla stake. When we add it all up, the gains were enormous. Some sources say he gained about $165 billion in a single day. Day two of the IPO. That's not a typo. $165 billion. In 24 hours. Before SpaceX went public, his net worth was sitting around $800 to $900 billion. After the IPO rally, his net worth crossed $1.1 trillion. He became the world's first trillionaire. That's a real threshold. Someone with $1 trillion. It's not just another big number. It's a historic milestone. No single human being had ever crossed that before. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of that gain, remember, is theoretical. It's based on the stock price. If SpaceX stock falls back down tomorrow, his net worth falls too. He couldn't take $1 trillion and spend it. He can't pull it out. His wealth is locked up in company shares. If he tries to sell them all, prices would crater. The market can only absorb so much selling at once. It's also worth noting that SpaceX loses money operationally. The company reported a $4.3 billion loss in the first quarter of 2026, yet the market gave it a $3 trillion valuation. Analysts call this the Elon Musk premium. Investors are paying not just for the business today, but for what they hope Musk will build with it tomorrow. The potential, the vision. It's a bet on the person as much as the company.